Hell yeah. Like, this is the best time to be, you know, like a Vegas artist and like a person that's reporting about Vegas music. Like, I mean, that's one of the best things about doing this thing to me.
What you heard, yeah. What you heard, What you heard, you can hear a motherfucking thing.
Hey, yo, what's up, people? It's your boy Tizzle from Pod Talk by Tizzle. I'm here with Fifth Element. Please introduce yourself, people.
Yeah, it's a lot.
What's
it's
up?
A lot, man.
It's more than this. It's more than this. What's up, everybody? I'm Supreme Kai Senpai, aka Drip Dry Kai. Follow the drip, aka Young Mama Kai, aka one part of the squad.
She cool. She the coolest for sure.
Right. Alright, peace, y'all. I go by the name of DJ Slim. You know what I'm saying? Up to Supreme Allah. Peace to everybody out there. I'm the DJ, cameraman, whatever, you know.
100.
Peace, Ray Sun, Fifth Element Hip Hop. What? Your local hip hop reporter. Right.
Yeah.
Yo, peace. OT from the D. Y'all know what it is. You know what I mean? Representing that hip hop. That's peace, love. You know, you ain't having fun every single time. You know what I mean? Y'all know what it is. Fifth Element.
Yeah, man.
And who is you?
Right.
You better come with it, represent, man. Come with it.
Hey, y'all know what it is, man. This is Code 7. Go ahead and like, share, subscribe to the channel, man.
Run it up.
Also, if you have any music, make sure you send it to the Gmail code7@gmail.com.
For sure.
Bro already told you we're here. They already went ahead and introduced themselves.
This is well overdue, man.
Let's get
First
into
off,
it.
man, we're going to get into it, man.
Yes, sir.
I'm glad we finally got y'all on here.
Thank you for having us.
We had a couple mishaps about it, you know what I'm saying? Hey, but my excuse, that was my weed smoking days. You know?
Hey, it's all good.
Little backstory, man. I accidentally called the wrong person on the show, man. I thought I was calling Fifth Element. I was calling somebody to do on the show. This man popped up. I didn't know who the fuck he was, man. We was quick on our feet and we got through it, man. For real, man. But we here now, man. So, where did Fifth Element come from? How y'all come up with this, and like, what was the motivation behind it?
All right, so Fifth Element was a brainchild of mine for about, I want to say like 3 to 5 years. But the thing is I went to a couple of different studios trying to, you know, feel it out. I even visited Mouthpiece Studio. He was gracious enough to let me come in there and watch him do his podcast when he was doing his thing.
Okay.
And I picked up a couple of tips from what he was doing, and you know, but I couldn't find the right concept for it or the right group of people. So, you know, went to the back burner. Come fast forward, I moved back to Vegas after being in Arizona for a little bit, and when I got back here, I started, you know, seeing a guy of mine record at the studio that we're at, and I was like, okay, let me check it out. End up going down there, checking the studio out, and I was like, yo, and I just put the wheels in motion, and I called up everybody who I thought would add to it, you know, that were genuine hip hop heads and really could make the show interesting, which I called Raymond first. And I'm like, yo, I called him and I was like, yo, Ray, you know, seeing he was doing the hip hop thing and we was like on the same wavelength.
Right.
We was like literally doing the same thing at the same time, posting the same shits, you know, on some real hip hop shit. And then I called Kai because I was like, yo, Kai, you know, I need a female, and she's like one of the most knowledgeable hip hop heads. I'm like, out of female or man that you'll ever meet. I'm like,
we had all the debates about Busta Rhymes.
Right, test her knowledge. You know what I mean? If you don't believe me, then test her skill. I'm like, yo, like I said, I went and got the best of the best in my mind that was in my circle. And then you know, of course, DJ Slim. I'm like, this dude is renowned in the city, done putting in work, you know, since Ice House days and before. You know what I mean? This is my man, 100 grand and shit. I'm like, all these people up here are like family to me. Been knowing them for over 20 years, and they all, you know. So it was just a natural mesh of things. That's why I come across so easy.
And it's a couple of y'all, man. What it's like with it being so many different personalities? You know what I mean?
I'm like, yo, we have our.
We argue all the
You know what
time.
I mean? We have our thing. You know what I mean? I'm like,
We got to
at
tell
each
them
other's
what they missing or who's not here today.
oh yeah. Let me. All right. So DJ Sam, aka Smooth K.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, y'all know, you know what I mean? The kid is like crazy talented. Always doing something.
Intergetic.
Yeah, he's
He's
super
energetic as hell.
Yes.
But he's a
DJ.
He's
like,
definitely
he's
like
doing his thing.
He's just like but he has a great spirit, and he's always always looking to do something great or whatever. And I just like the way that he comes in. He brings that energy to the show, that you know, that youthful energy that we need sometimes. Right. We ain't no spring chickens. And then we got my guy, my son Hollywood Bug, and you know, he's at the house, and he really is just, you know, he's just learning and soaking up the information right now. And if y'all know how we close the show, we always close the show with him. You know,
1, 2, 3, 4.
he always do the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, that's his thing.
I've been here before. I'm telling you.
That's like, yo, real smart kid. Y'all gonna start seeing him emerge pretty soon. And he got some bars too. You know, the kid is nice.
How long has Fifth Element been around? Like as far as
a collect, like the group. August is when we had our first show.
2021.
Yeah, that was our first show. Was in August, and you know, so I would say like mid-July is when it all came together.
Right.
But August is the first show, and then once that came along, and like, you know, we just been. I took a lot of tips from this guy. Right? I was calling him like crazy, but you know what I mean. But here's the thing, though. I know that Skinny had been doing this thing for a minute. Yeah, like he's been saying bump Vegas music probably before anybody else was saying it in the city. You know what I mean? I would see him go on rants on like back when he was doing the Swift days. He would go on rants. You know what I'm saying? Back then and shit. You know what I'm saying? But like, yo, I was like, who better to call than my guy right here? And I know he's been putting in work, so it was just like, you know, and then, you know what I mean? I'm like, it's my guy right here, man. So he ain't never show no.
Facts. We go back.
On the flip side of that, real quick, probably while he was doing that in 2019. I was reaching out to Icy Jones.
Yeah. So he was doing his thing.
I was sitting in with Icy Jones.
Right.
And we hadn't even talked about a podcast at all.
Right.
I was sitting with Icy Jones in studio with him, watching him do his thing, taking notes. So I was like, we're gonna work this out in the summer.
So yeah, we was doing our homework, and then I'm like, even with Slim, you know, he had back in the day, he had Good Music 101 with DJ Certified, Two Tone, and all that.
Easy Certified.
Yeah, rest in peace, Certified, man.
You know, I think that people don't realize it's a lot of people in Vegas who love Vegas music.
Right.
But we just didn't have platforms and stuff to show it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like I think that's why, like when we started doing the podcast, we never felt like, oh, nobody else shouldn't be doing it, because we know people got opinions about our music, and we done been out and about and talking to people, and they like, nigga, I love Vegas music too. Since when I was growing up, he always talked about local artists. I was younger. He always pushed that shit on me. I was a Lil Wayne type nigga, you know what I'm saying? I was into the industry, you know what I mean?
Right.
But at that time, I had rap aspirations, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, fuck the city, I'm trying to get up there, you feel me? But he was always like pushing them niggas on me. And there was a lot of cats like Omar, there was a lot of cats in the city and stuff who was really doing their thing. Like motherfuckers had bars. I just felt like it wasn't cool. It wasn't popular to say like, I like a Vegas artist, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I feel like with all of us, we giving them the accolades that they need. Like it's some dope ass artists out here, you know? And we getting the best music I feel we've ever heard out the city.
Hell yeah! Like this is the best time to be, you know, like a Vegas artist and like a person that's reporting about Vegas music. Like I mean, that's one of the best things about doing this thing to me is that I get to discover the most dope hip hop organically, and it just is like, man, I get to study this music, I get to break it down, I get to, you know, like feel it all up in my heart chakra. You understand? So it's like it's dope. It's like a gift in and of itself. It's dope.
And when they know that you're gonna like be when they know that you're gonna like scrutinize it and you're gonna be on it, it's like they working harder now. Because people was being lazy, you know what I mean? People was just like, ain't nobody probably really gonna hear this anyway, so let me just do a little something, But now it's like people taking their time, they're being creative, even the videos, you know what I mean? So now when I see a video when somebody just holding their gun upside down in front of a car, it's like, nigga, we way past that. Y'all playing now, you know what I mean?
Like it's time to step your game up.
Because there was a time we were just happy to see a video.
Right.
Like, damn, at least he dropped something, you know what I'm saying?
Videos, and
now it's like, hold up, bro. It's like, man, like we got real people who shoot real videos. You know what I mean? We got Real House.
Shout out to Lonnie. Shout out to Real House.
You know, we got like Moan. We got these Tape Price, man. These dudes is out here shooting real videos, man. I'm like, yo, And I'm like, these videos are competing with industry videos. So I'm like,
So
you don't have to.
The artists
Beats.
competing with
Right.
the artists.
It's so many of them that's
Right.
that's really competing and really doing their thing, and they're shooting
Right.
industry people videos. You
Oh,
know?
yeah, moving up
At the
too.
same time,
Yeah, like
moving
at
up
the same time, like they doing their thing. So shout out to all the dope visuals. Shout out to all of them. Like it's too many to name, but shout out to all y'all.
Shout out to everybody and the producers.
And the producers.
Because like that's a whole nother conversation.
It's so
Man,
much
we
going
got a lot
on.
of good producers.
Like it's
right
so
now,
much going on out here. Like when OT used to call me, he'd be like, "Hey, you heard of this guy? You heard this guy?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like he works with him. You know what I'm saying? Like because it's camps. Like we have camps that a lot of people didn't know about, and I like y'all been doing it since August now. So y'all came across the different talent.
Right. You know what's the biggest surprise? It's crazy to me because I'm like, with us being out here and like I call you and I say like, "Hey Skinny man, what's up with this guy right here?"
Right.
And you'll be like, "Yo, he's whoop to whoop or she's whoop to whoop." And then once I figure out who they with, and then I realize that they're people who they with, we used to roll
Exactly.
with back then,
Everybody
and I'm
knows.
like, "Oh man," we're like, "Hold up, man, that's your people." So
Yeah.
then once I call them, I get even more information.
Yeah.
So when we do an interview, it ain't like we just sitting up here and we just talking to these people and just trying to dig for information. We actually got something to bring to the table and makes it more. And you know it also led to the love that they've shown us because we've shown them genuine
That's the
love.
thing about Vegas. So Vegas small.
It
We,
is.
us right now on this couch, we can get in touch with anybody in the city.
Absolutely.
That's
For real.
true.
Like,
Like,
without
ain't nobody too big, no too little. You know, we can really get in touch with anybody. We see somebody on this TV right now. He say he a local artist. We can get in touch with him by 10 o'clock
Absolutely.
because the city is so small. You know what I mean? So that's I feel like one of the gifts to
And
Vegas.
the music scene is even smaller.
Yeah.
It's like the city's
That's
small
right.
and the music scene is even
Yeah,
smaller. So it's like
so
you can't really do anything or say anything that won't get back to somebody.
Oh, yeah, somebody gonna
Because it's like, you know, you gotta be I like to say people need to be mindful of what they doing. Like we just had the conversation before the camera turned on about the guy, you know, mad rapper got on here talk about us, F us, whatever, all this stuff.
Fuck 'em.
Right, that part. You know what I'm saying?
that emoji that be
Say
like
that part. Bro.
that's
But you know what I'm saying? But I'm like, yo, we got this guy, but I'm like,
That comes with it, bro.
yeah.
say that.
Like that comes with like I told those when we had the conversation, but I had to explain it to Tizzle early.
I used to be tripping.
Like, bro, don't get on the internet. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Because that comes with it. Like that's a part of it. Like the hate, the
homeboys and all
the
that.
people that's mad, like your homeboys, your friends, your family, like all that come with it. So you have to really just turn a blind eye. Like,
Right.
you know what? Forget it, because you're disgruntled because of what you did never worked.
Yeah.
And you don't understand it. Like I tell y'all every time y'all in my events, like I appreciate y'all because I feel like what me and bro started, because we kind of entered a lane that Vegas wasn't doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then when y'all came behind us, it felt like an extension.
Right.
It didn't feel like nothing that was trying to shadow us out. It felt like
Right.
an extension of what we needed.
Right.
Because of
And
y'all,
we need more.
Yeah, like, and we need more because
Absolutely.
y'all come across different artists that I may not know, or y'all tap more into the knowledge, like
Right.
Ray, for example. I know you bring the news part to the show. Like y'all legit all bring something different to the show.
Right.
So you bring the news part. So you would talk on what's happening in the city in the news.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? The shit that some people may or may not miss, and you don't do it messy.
Right.
Not at all.
Right.
Not at all.
So important.
That's so important.
So
'cause
important.
there-
No smut.
no smut. Like who brings news without mess?
Yeah,
Right.
for real.
Right.
So that's so important. So how did that become a part of the show for you?
Yeah, for sure.
Why was that important to you?
Just really just to keep our integrity past the music, just our names in the streets. Ain't nobody gonna say I've been in Vegas since '92. You know what I'm saying? I really ain't no smut on my name, but so I ain't no messy person. If I talk about somebody, I'm gonna bring facts. I mean, we gonna say this about D Cross. We were talking about the slap, right? And we could have laughed at it and whatnot, but at the end of it, I was like, we ain't here for that. We're here to push his music. So I talked about all his albums and mixtapes and whatnot. So I don't know. Maybe it's just my personality.
That's dope,
really.
though.
You know what I'm saying?
That's dope, because a lot of people don't do that.
And we took that approach too. Like we don't do diss tracks.
Right.
You know, those get the most attention. But we don't do
Even
it.
when we catch ourselves
Like,
fucking up.
we
just
watch it on
like,
our own. I'm not gonna lie. I'm laughing at it. I'm watching the shit. But I don't want to ever embarrass nobody, bro.
Right.
I'm gonna shine without doing the extra shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's dope that y'all take that approach because you know it'd be so much easier and you would get so many more views if you was messy.
Yeah.
So being man enough, or having enough integrity to not do that shit is dope. It's commendable, man.
But you know,
Just hit them with the 4 words, man. Y'all know what that is. Love is the
Love's
message.
the message.
Love is the message.
Straight up.
But you know, it goes back to like everything. What I say at the beginning of every show: peace, love, unity, and having fun. That is what hip hop was based on. And if people don't know that, like that's not something I made up.
Yeah.
That's
What it is.
really came from hip hop.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if you really want to do your history and you go back into hip hop, that's what we about. That's what I'm like. We add the hip hop on our name, not like love in hip hop, where you don't see nothing hip hop in that shit.
You don't even see love on
Yeah,
the
you know what I'm
phone.
saying? Exactly. I like it. Ain't got nothing to do. This is real. When we say Fifth Element hip hop, we really embody that shit. I'm like, all of us have done every element at some point in our lives of hip hop. We've all been rappers,
B-boys.
B-boys, graffiti artists, whatever. We've all done some in some fashion. We've all poured into it. So I'm like, this is something that I actually live. Like, it ain't like I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm fronting for the camera. No, when you see me, I could talk a hip hop conversation with you for hours.
Yep.
And still
And enjoy it.
Yeah, and enjoy it. And talk to you tomorrow about the same shit.
Yeah.
I mean, we had them conversations many
Right.
years ago. When you
Right.
first came to my studio to help me.
Right.
Shit.
Right.
We had that conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Kai, like,
Yeah.
me and you had our about Busta and different shit.
Right.
That was one of some of my favorite shit. So
We did the hip hop karaoke
We did the hip-hop
together too.
karaoke.
We did a duet
Oh,
to
wow.
of America's Most Wanted.
Yeah.
you really
Well,
break
you did
down-
it. He was just there.
So,
Carrie, bro.
he definitely one thing, like, you know bars, right? And you know how to break down bars, you know bars, and you not letting no simple shit just go over your head. You gonna like, come on.
Yeah.
I feel like you kind of push that, like, that.
I have a confession to make. I am, a little bit of a purist when it comes to my bars. Like, I'm passionate about hip hop. Like,
Right.
my music means everything to me. It's like my whole heart and soul. So, like, I mean, I feel a way when I feel like people take shortcuts. It's like, kind of a slap in the face to one of the things that I love the most, and I've invested my heart, my soul, my energy, my chi, all that shit into this shit. So it's like, it feels a little bit disrespectful when people don't like do their best work. You know what I mean? But like, I mean, for the most part, everybody is doing their best work. They're doing they thing at the highest level that they're able to at whatever, evolution that they are. So, it's a whole bunch of things that get taken into consideration. But, like, I mean, I love just juicy bars. It's just what
She
I
got bars
love.
too, y'all. She got bars too.
Why are we having this conversation on camera right
I'm just throwing that
now?
out there.
Let us get a
Why are we
16,
talking?
man.
Give him a 16, Kai.
Come on, stop
Give him
it.
16, Kai.
Stop.
16.
Off camera. Off camera.
You about to be on That's a Bar in a minute. You know what I mean?
Hey, look, if I'm on That's a Bar, I'll write, a 16 or a 24, whatever y'all want for That's a Bar. That's my word.
For you.
That's my
Kai about to be on That's a Bar.
special.
And I was about to say Slim too, man. So we never really see you on camera, nothing like that, man. Why is that? Why you don't like being on the camera? You on the run or something? We need to know.
Nah, man. Low key in the cut.
Yeah.
I just like to do my thing, and I rather show than talk. Just show and prove. You know what I'm saying? I'm just quiet, man. Back
How long you been DJing?
about 20, 25 plus.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I started DJing. I started DJing before that, but when my mother passed is when I got my tables.
okay.
I
Rest in
started doing it
peace.
seriously. And then I got picked up from 88 by DJing on the west side with the House of Flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The House of Flavor all the time. So
Yeah.
big shout out to Kyle and T Wade, rest in peace, Eddie Mack.
Hey.
Man, you been doing your thing I know of you from Ice House.
Yeah,
Ice
yeah.
House.
So we did the Ice House with started with T-Wave from the House of Flavor, and then Twix came in, and that was like the second half of it. So like that was my main thing. That's back when I was with 98.5 and 88.1.
So how do you feel about the music scene from now and then? Because y'all had back then they had their highlights, they had people rocking. What do you feel is different now than then?
The music, honestly, the music is better.
Yeah.
The music is better. Like, you would have came to me back then and asked me to play some shit, and a lot of times it just wasn't good enough.
The quality though, mostly.
Facts. It just wasn't. It just a lot of shit wasn't good enough.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Now, it ain't like that.
And it was crazy because the music scene back then, everybody would congregate at certain places, like Coolers Lounge or Skate Lounge or these different places. Right. And I'm like, we heard everybody because we was performing as well as listening to the cats. And I'm like, the music now, I'll be like, man, I was like, just the investment of money into their music. Yeah. Back then, nobody was investing real money into.
Nobody has money like that.
But it wasn't. But here's the thing: it wasn't even about having money. It was about how far you would go to make sure you got the best quality product.
I think
people wouldn't go that far.
Technology and talent finally met at the right time for it to be where it is right now.
Perfect evolution.
Because there was always studios. I'm like, if you know about Vegas, you had Digital Insight, which was like the first major studio out here that recorded rap artists. And I'm like, anybody who recorded back in the day, they know they started on Saharan Lamb inside one of them storage garages, and then they went over there to Karen, and that's when they had the big studio where Missy Elliott and all them was coming through there and all that stuff. This is before the Palms,
Jam Time. We had Jam
Time with those two of them.
Dungeon Studios.
Yeah, we had Dungeon. Yeah,
I remember Richard Tatum's studio because my brother he recorded his tape there, so I remember that. And then even like we pressed the DJs playing Vegas music shit tough. Like as soon as we started, that was one of the first things we started pressing. But like I told people, I'm like, I can't really get on Slam. I couldn't get on Slim because I'm like, I've been in the Ice House, I've heard him play.
Right.
Like what was hot in Vegas at the time and what was of the good quality. You know what I'm saying? Like the Twix, the Bozies and shit like that. Like to be honest, they was really the only ones who was giving us quality sounding music. Yeah. At that time. Everybody else was just going to be street dudes who was recording wherever they could record at.
But like I said, that goes into the money that was put into it.
Facts.
Cats wasn't putting money into their music. They was okay with recording at the house and then taking that, pressing that on a CD, getting 1,000 of them, and it sounded like it was recorded at the house. Facts. It's like, bro, man, you got to put some money into it. That ain't enough for you to buy a mic and a fucking computer. And you know what I mean, recording in your closet, it ain't enough. And that's the reason, like where the two-tones and the gas stations and all of them come in and they start making this real quality. Like you start seeing the shift around when Shadrew and
Landlord
and all them start coming up. You start seeing that shift in the Vegas music to where you was like, okay, this shit sounded better. And it was crazy because Two-Tone come from our camp. Right. You know what I mean? We was recording with Two-Tone when he first started. When his shit was sounding like shit. Right. You know what I'm saying? And then as he got better, he started connecting with the city and everybody started going to Two-Tone. Right. And this quality music coming out. And I'm like, damn, Tone, you doing this? And he had a studio with Bozy. You know what I mean? And they was just making some great fucking music out of there. And that's where that push come out. You see Two C's and all them, they always going through him.
Everybody at one point was going through Tony. I mean, like I say, that's one of the things that's so important. Like, and even with us having these platforms, like, bro, of course, bro, he like this. When it comes to music, he like, if I like you, I like you. If I don't, I don't. Right. And I'm not gonna play with you on that field either. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how bro. But that's how he is with his music. Period. You know what I'm saying? Like. That's how a lot of people are with their music. Like, if I like
very
it,
much
I like
the
it,
same way. And the thing for me is that, like, it don't mean nothing if I don't like it. It just means that it don't hit my ears like that.
You just don't like it.
Exactly. It don't mean that it's whack. It just means that that's not my cup of tea.
Yeah,
it's that simple.
Right. For real. And a lot of the bad music came because of the quality. See, the problem is you might have the best wordplay ever. Right. You know what I'm saying? It'd be the beat selection and the quality. You know what I mean?
But
that's why we press quality a lot.
Yeah. The thing is, it's crazy. It's because like people don't look at music as being music as one whole. They be like, oh man, I only listen to the lyrics. I only listen to the beat. No, music is music. It's a mesh of everything. Yeah. It's like you realize that when you put your vocals on the track, your voice is an instrument now. Right. So I'm like, it has to mesh with what you're doing. Right. So if it don't sound right and it ain't rhythmically in time with the beat, that shit is not gonna be good. I'm like, yo, so people be like, oh man, he ain't really got a lot of lyrics. I'll be like, I don't know about his lyrics not being bad, but the dude was in a pocket and it sounds good sonically. Good, it's good music at this point. I'm like, yo, it may not be the greatest pin game ever.
I think that's what you make your
songs blow.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes your separation. Like, cause I'm same like when I spoke to Kyle about lyrics. I'm one of them. I like to hear lyrics, but I like to hear good music too.
Right, and that's what I mean.
So sometimes your lyrics don't have to be crazy. Like prime example, like just on local shit. When I first heard Tay Bands, I was like, listen, you make good music.
Good music.
Forget trying to impress anybody with your wordplay.
Yep.
Continue to focus on your craft and continue to make good music
and embrace what you're good at.
Embrace what you're good at.
And you know what's crazy? It's like his wordplay ain't bad.
It's not bad.
I'm like
he don't have to go crazy.
Yeah, he don't have to go freaking
you don't
that shit.
You don't have to do that.
You ain't gotta be intricate with 18 different entendres. Well, just do this. Ride the beat.
You doing good. No, he don't. And then Landlord found the pocket to where Landlord found the pocket to where I can put these lyrics on this beat and fit it inside the pocket.
Yeah. I like to say he hit that Jay-Z Biggie
found it.
That zone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because we know for a while, Landlord, we always would be like, oh, that nigga can rap.
Right.
But he wasn't fitting inside the pocket.
Man.
And now he's like
that far from perfect. I was like, yo, them motherfuckers. I was like, yo, he went crazy on that
Love 3.
Fake love.
Fake love hold the
whole fake love.
Right.
Once he figured that shit out, it was like
series.
Yeah.
Was crazy. Like
my friend worked that block friend.
He worked for it though. He worked for it. A lot of these artists would be like, all like Landlord, like y'all young niggas don't know. Landlord been rapping for a long time.
Like I said, that was the Drew days.
Yeah.
That's Drew and Landlord, Sean Rose. They was all coming on around the same time.
Yeah.
And as I said, that was the shift. That was when we started hearing music started being different. Right. Like, cause I'm like, everybody knew what, Twix and everybody and all else was doing.
Yeah.
And like, but then, like, so Drew was like,
y'all had 150 members.
Right.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, right.
Y'all like an army.
That part.
Yeah, y'all members was crazy. It was like, golly, it's so many of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all had so many members.
Y'all sharing the love. That's crazy though.
Y'all shared the love.
Y'all can share that much attention with 150 people.
Yeah, but we was always. I'm like, if you look at what we was about, we was always about showing love and no hating. And it was like, man, if you was good, and we fucks with you. It ain't matter, like, like some cats be like, man, we don't want you around the camp because you ain't us or whatever. I'm like, man, fuck all that. Like, man, if you cool, you cool. We fucks with you.
And motherfuckers wonder why Drake's still on.
Right.
If Drake like your music, he hopping on it. I don't care how big or little you is.
Right.
A lot of people get so big, they be like, I ain't fucking with that nigga.
But and you see Drake like, right now.
Send me that shit hard. I'm on it. You know what I'm saying?
You see like Black Boy JD come out and disappear.
He got what's on with him and disappeared.
Like disappeared.
I might take your style a little bit too, but don't worry about it. I'm gonna show you love.
But I'm like, yo, this shit out. The thing though, you may took your style a little bit, but you got a bag.
How the fuck you winning if you lost to this? Niggas think they own so they get off in this. It's easy to get crossed in this. On TOP, we gon' get far from this. Step up in they town and burn it down like I'm a horse.